Hello and welcome to the presentation on dynamics of machinery. Unit number 2, single degree of freedom system, force vibration. So up till now we have seen the content of this particular unit number 2, that is force vibration and torsion systems, frequency response to the excitation. And in this particular presentation we are going to see how we can solve some of the numerical on force vibration of longitudinal systems. So let us consider the first example. So the example is given like this: a machine part of mass 2.5 kg. So 2.5 kg is the mass given for this particular problem. Vibrates in a viscous medium. It is vibrating in a viscous medium, and a harmonic exciting force of 30 Newton. So 30 Newton force is acting. That means F0 value is 30 Newton. Okay, acts on this part and causes resonant amplitude of 14 mm. So it is causing resonance amplitude. Means we can say XR is given to us, resonance maximum amplitude, that is specified here as 14 mm with a period of 0.22 seconds. So the resonance amplitude is occurring with a period of 0.225 seconds here. Okay. Now find the damping coefficient. So you are asked to find out the damping coefficient of this. Means C is not specified. Okay, also K is not specified. Mass is given and displacement at the resonance is specified and the time period is specified. They are asked to find out the damping coefficient. And also it is said that if the frequency of the exciting force is changed to 4 Hz, it means initially it will be having certain frequency omega, that this force is varying with certain frequency. Now they are saying that this frequency is changed to 4 Hz. So determine the increase in the amplitude of the force vibration upon removal of the damper. So if frequency is changed of this particular force, so what will be the increase in the amplitude of vibration, because already it is specified resonance amplitude. So if I change this particular value of the frequency, so what will be the amplitude of vibration, that I have to find out. And even you are going to remove the damper, and damping will not be there, and damping is considered to be as a 0. That time what is the value of the force vibration, that you have to find out. So let us first of all consider the first part of it. So at resonance, whatever the data they have specified, okay, so we'll try to find out the forcing frequency. Okay, at resonance generally the forcing frequency and natural frequency, it will be equal. So I can write omega n is equal to, suppose forcing frequency is equal to 2 pi by tau. Tau is nothing but your time period specified. Okay, so it will be 28.56 radian per second. That is, you have got omega n. So at resonance these two are equal, omega and omega n. Okay, therefore this is same, 28.56 radian per second. So I can use the value of this omega n now to find out the value of k. So omega n is equal to 1 root of k by m, that is known to us. So m is specified to us, omega n just you got from the time period. So you can get the value of k, that is equal to 2039 Newton per meter. Now we will try to find out the damping coefficient, and for that we will consider the amplitude at resonance. So amplitude at resonance is given by f0 by k upon in under root 1 minus r square bracket square plus 2 zeta r bracket square. So in this case I have to find out the value of r. So definitely r in this case is nothing but omega by omega n, and at resonance this r is equal to 1. So this 1 minus r square, if I put this r as 1, so 1 square minus 1 square, 1 minus 1 will be 0. So this term will getting cancelled out. So remaining term is this only. So it is in under root. So it will be 2 zeta r bracket square. R is equal to 1. So it will be 2 zeta square. Under root of that it will be only 2 zeta. So x is equal to f0 by k divided by 2 zeta only. Okay. So if I have to find out the value of this particular term, that is f0 by k divided by 2 zeta. So definitely I know this f0, which is a force 30 Newton, which is given to me, and k I have found out in the previous calculation, and from here only unknown is zeta, that I have to find out. So this is the x amplitude given to me at resonance, that is in mm it was given to me 14 mm. So I am writing it in meters, so 0.01 per meter. So from this I can get the value of zeta, that is 0.526. Now once I get the zeta, so we know that zeta is equal to C by Cc, that is damping coefficient by critical damping coefficient. It is the ratio of these two, okay, damping factor. So once I get a damping factor, if I multiply Cc by the zeta, I will get the value of this damping coefficient C. So we know that Cc is given by 2m omega n. So value of m is known to us, value of omega n is known to us, and zeta just we have got 0.526. So if I multiply all these three with constant 2, I will get 75.04 Newton meter per second. Newton per meters per second. Okay, that means actually it is Newton second per meter. That is the unit of it. So this is what a damping coefficient means. The first part of this particular numerical is over. So we have got the damping coefficient. Now next we are asked to change the frequency of excitation. So now they have given the forcing frequency as 4 hertz. Okay, so I will be finding out that omega, that is equal to 2 pi fn. So 2 into pi into this 4 hertz, it will be giving me 25.13. So this multiplication gives us 25.13 radian per second as the acceleration frequency, and we have already got initially that natural frequency, which is 28.56 radian per second. Okay, so which will not change. So now amplitude of vibration you have to find out. Okay, so first we will find out with damper. Okay, as they have asked the amplitude of vibration to find out how much is the increase in the amplitude. So first we will find out with damper, and then we will find out without damper. So finding out with damper, we'll be using that value of zeta in the which is there in the previous slide, and R value will be nothing but equal to omega by omega, that is 25.13 divided by 28.56. So that will be your R value, and F0 is nothing but your 30 Newton, and K we have got in the previous slide, so that you are utilizing here, and you are getting that amplitude equal to 0.01544 meters, means nothing but equal to 15 mm, 15.44 mm. And now we will try to find out the amplitude of vibration without damper. So when it is without damper, so it will be f0 by k. So this is value of f0, this is the value of k, divided by, now we have seen this particular expression. In this expression, now here what is required is there is no damping, that means this zeta is equal to 0, so this term will not be there. So only 1 minus r square bracket square. So when it is bracket square, under root sign is there, so it will be only 1 minus r square. Okay, so we are getting that value of xb, so it is 1 minus r square value here, so it will be equal to 0.0652 meter. It means nothing but it is equal to 65.2 mm, so around. It means there is too much increase in the amplitude when there is no damping. So when damping is not there, when zeta is equal to 0, this much is the value of the amplitude of vibration, and this is the value of when there is a damping. So difference of this will be getting, so the total increment in the amplitude will be 49.7 mm. So this is what is the solution of this particular numerical. Now we will see one more numerical. In this case, now the data specified is like this. So a body having a mass of 15 kg is suspended from a spring which deflects 12 mm due to the weight of the mass. Determine the frequency of free vibrations. So you have to find out the frequency of free vibrations. What viscous damping force is needed to make the motion aperiodic at a speed of 1 meter per second? So this is the first part of this numerical. So damping force you have to find out, which is needed to make the motion aperiodic. Aperiodic means like this. There should not be a periodic motion like this, means there should not be repetition of the cycles. This is periodic motion and this is aperiodic motion. So this we want, aperiodic motion, and for that what should be the viscous damping force, that you have to find out. Also we have to determine the frequency of free vibration. And the second part of this numerical is, if when damped to this extent, a disturbing force having maximum value of 100 Newton and vibrating at 6 Hz is made to act on the body, determine the amplitude of the ultimate motion. So this is what is given to us. Mass is given to us, and excitation force is given to us 100 Newton, and this excitation frequency is 6 Hz, and static deflection is 12 mm. So if you have to find out the frequency of free vibration, so it will be obtained by 1 upon 2 pi in under root of g by delta. So delta is nothing but deflection, static deflection. So simply this is 1 by 2 pi, that is constant. G is also 9.81, it is a constant, and delta is something but equal to this 12 mm. So we will get this frequency 4.55 Hertz. That is the first answer. Frequency of free vibration is over. Now you are asked to make this motion aperiodic, and for that you have to find out damping force. So aperiodic motion means when it will be having critically damped condition, that means when zeta is equal to 1. So the motion becomes aperiodic when the damped frequency is 0 or when it is critically damped. So In that case we will get omega is equal to omega n is equal to under root of chi by delta, that is equal to 28.59 radian per second. So C will be equal to Cc when zeta is equal to 1, because zeta itself is a C by Cc ratio. So C equal to Cc, that is equal to 2m omega n. So 2 is a constant, m is 15 kg given to us. Omega n is nothing but 28.59. We have converted into radian per second here. And finally you are getting 857 Newton per meter per second. That means it is 0.857 Newton per mm per second. It means a force of 0.857 Newton is required at a rate of 1 mm per second to make the motion aperiodic. Okay, as per it is required at 1 mm per second, what is the force needed? So this is the nothing but the force needed. Okay, now we'll concentrate on the third part. We have to determine the amplitude of motion at this value of the force excitation. So we know that the ratio or the equation for getting the amplitude of force vibration is given by f0 upon in under root k minus m omega square bracket square plus c omega square. So omega is equal to 2 pi f, that is equal to 2 pi into 6, because 6 hertz is the given frequency of excitation, so it will be 37.7 radian per second. f0 is 100 Newton, this is given f0 100 Newton. So fn will be equal to 1 upon 2 pi in root of k by m. Okay, natural frequency. So in this case we have to find out the value of k first, okay, which is not known to us. C we have got, we are finding the k, so k will be equal to, from this expression, because natural frequency is known to us here, k equal to 12260 Newton per meter. And then when we put these values here, k, m, omega, c and f0, all this, we will get this value of x, that is 0.00298 meter, that is equal to 2.98 mm. Okay, now we'll see one more numerical. So in this case, weight attached to a spring stiffness of 525 Newton per meter. So spring stiffness is specified 525 Newton per meter, has a viscous damping device. Okay, when the weight is displaced and released without damper, the period of vibration is found to be 1.8 seconds. So if there is no damper here, suppose initially, okay, there is no damper, and then if you excite this system, it will be giving me a period of vibration as 1.8 seconds, and the ratio of consecutive amplitude is 4.2 to 1.0. Means first amplitude may be 4.2, and after some period of time, like if I plot it this way, so first amplitude will be there, and then there is second amplitude. So this amplitude is suppose 4.2 and this amplitude is 1.0. So it's decrement like this. So determine the amplitude and phase when the force F is equal to 2 cos of 2t acts on the system. So excitation force, that is f0 sin omega t, that is specified here. So here value of f0 is 2 and omega value is also 2. So let us write this total data. K equal to this, tau equal to 1.8 seconds, x1 is 4.2, x2 is 1.0, and this is f0 and omega t term. So f0 is 2 Newton and omega is also 2 radian per second. We have to find out this value of x, okay, amplitude. So for getting this amplitude we need f0 by k and this particular ratio in under root in the denominator. So f0 is with us, k that is also with us, r and zeta is required. So let's try to find out the zeta first. So we can find out by using the logarithmic decrement. So logarithmic decrement delta is given by ln of x1 by x2, so that is equal to 1.435, and this zeta we can find out using this particular logarithmic decrement delta. So delta upon under root 4 pi square plus delta square, so we will be getting this value of zeta as 0.22, and also omega n is given by 2 pi by tau. So time period is given, so you can get the omega n is equal to 2 pi by tau, so it is 3.49 radian per second. So I need this r values, it means I need omega and omega n both. So omega they have specified to radian per second. Omega n I am getting it as 2 pi by tau, that is 3.49 radian per second. So I can get this R value, that is omega n, this ratio. It gives me 0.573, and since I have to put R square value here in this expression to get the value of x, my aim is to get this value of x. So I will be putting this R square as 0.328. So if I put all these values here, I will get the value of x, and that is here I am putting those values. So f0 is k r square, okay, and finally I am getting this value of x is equal to 5.3 mm. And now I have to find out the phase angle, that is phase difference between the displacement and the excitation force. So that is given by tan inverse of 2 zeta r upon 1 minus r square. So in this section also I need two terms, one is the zeta and another is r. So if I put all these two values, I will get this particular value of phase angle, tan inverse of 0.375, that is equal to 20.56. So this is the second answer that you have to find out. The amplitude you got and you got the phase. Okay, so this is what all about these some numericals on force vibrations. So we'll just stop here. In the next class we'll go for excitation due to the rotating and reciprocating unbalance. So thank you very much.